Chinedu was about to lose everything because he discovered where the dead come to trade. And he had no idea the ancestors had been watching him his whole life. For 7 years, he had been hustling at Mile 12 Market, carrying bags of tomatoes and onions for traders who barely noticed him. Every morning started the same. Wake up at 5 a.m. in his one-room motion apartment, catch a downfall to the market, work 12 hours breaking his back, then send money home to his sick mother in Anambra. His hands were so calloused that Naira notes stuck to his palm. The other porters called him steady hand because he never dropped anything, no matter the weight. But this Tuesday, everything changed. The transport workers called a strike over fuel prices. Every downfall, every korope stopped moving. When Chinedu finished his last job carrying Irish potato for Mama Kemi, the bus stop was empty. Okada riders that were not remaining were not charging 5,000 naira to Mushin. He had 800 in his pocket. He couldn't afford the fare. He couldn't walk home at night. Area boys will finish him. So Chinedu made a decision that will alter his destiny. He will sleep in that market. As darkness fell and the last traders departed, Chinedu settled near the tomato section with empty cement bag as bedding. The market transformed at night. Gone was the daytime chaos of thousands shouting and hardly order. Only generator horns and occasional dog barks broke the eerie silence. Lying on his makeshift bed, Chinedu stared at the corrugated roof, thinking about 7 years of carrying other people's goods. What did he have? Rented room, barely 2 months of savings. What Chinedu didn't know, his grandmother, Adeze, who died before his birth, had been one of Mile 12's most powerful traders. People said she had a spiritual connection to the market itself. His father never shared those stories, dismissing them as village superstition. Near midnight, Chinedu started hearing strange sounds. Voices speaking in Old Igbo, the kind his grandfather used. When the Ikeja clock tower struck 12, everything changed. The iron stores now shimmered like water, transforming into elaborate wooden booths decorated with ancient aquatic cloths. Concrete became red village earth. The air shifted from diesel fumes to palm wine and incense. Chinedu jumped up, heart pounding. Ghostly figures materialized, translucent, glowing, dressed in traditional attire from different eras. Igbo women in wrappers and beads, Yoruba elders in flowing agbada, Hausa traders in northern robes. They were not selling vegetables. They hawked glowing orbs containing moving pictures, floating like soap bubbles. A regal woman approached, coral beads adorning her neck and arms, wearing a deep blue wrapper threaded with gold. Chinedu Okafo, she said, her voice underwater distant. Son of Emeka, grandson of Adeze, the great trader. Nobody ever mentioned his grandmother Adeze. I am Mama Nkem. I died in this market 60 years ago during independence celebrations, but I return every night to continue my trade. She gestured at the supernatural marketplace. Your grandmother was one of us, an eternal trader. Because you have her blood and you have served this market 7 years with your sweat, you can participate in our exchange. I don't know if you talk. We don't trade vegetables here. We trade memories, we trade regrets, possibilities that never came to pass. Tonight, because the ancestors have watched you struggle, we offer you a choice. 3 orbs floated towards him, each glowing a different color. The first, Mama Nkem said, pointing to a golden orb, contains the day you could have saved your father's life. When he was sick and asked you to take him to the hospital, but you were too busy preparing for Wayek. Take this and you can go back and choose differently. Chinedu's knee is wicked. That memory was his deepest guilt. His father died 3 days later after this thing. The second orb reveals where your grandfather buried Adeze's treasure. Enough gold and coins to make you wealthy. The third orb, of purple. This contains your grandmother's trading knowledge, her secrets, connections, her ability to turn nothing into profit. You will never struggle again. Mama Nkem's smile now faded. However, each memory you accept costs one of your own. To save your father, you surrender your memory of your mother's lullabies. For wealth, you lose your first laugh with your best friend. For trading knowledge, you forget your sister's wedding when you cried with pride. Other ancestral traders gathered like vultures. His first kiss, his first kiss. One hissed, his memory of learning to read. Another demanded, his mother's jollof rice recipe. Offered a third. Chinedu now realized they wanted pieces of his soul. Trading them meant losing himself. But the temptation burned, save his father, lift his family from poverty, finally have power and respect. All for some old memories. Chinedu's hand trembled as he reached towards the golden orb. His father's face swam in the swelling light, gaunt, bleeding, asking for help, while teenage Chinedu clutched his textbooks and said, "No!" "Wait," Chinedu whispered. Mama Nkem's eyebrow rose. "If I take this memory, if I go back and save my father," his voice cracked, "would I still be me? Would I still become the man who learned to endure, who learned to be steady?" "Does it matter?" Mama Nkem asked. "You would have your father." But Chinedu thought about his mother's lullabies, how they comforted him through his father's death, through the early Lagos struggles, through every lonely night. Those songs were her love made tangible. He looked at the silver orb, wealth, security, everything he had worked for. But his first laugh with Emeka was the day he learned trust. Learned friendship could exist in this harsh city. The purple orb promised power. But his sister's wedding, watching her happy after their father's death, knowing his hustle paid for her ceremony, that was the day he understood his purpose. These memories, Chinedu said slowly, they are not just stories I keep, they are the foundation of everything I am. My guilt about my father taught me to never ignore family again. My friendship with Emeka showed me loyalty. My sister's wedding proved my struggles had meaning. The ancestral leaders pressed closer, hungry. If I trade away these pieces, Chinedu continued, I might get what I want, but I will lose who I am. What good is saving my father if I can't remember why I loved him? What is wealth without remembering the joy of friendship? What is power without knowing what sacrifice means? Mama Nkem studied him with ancient eyes. My grandmother was a great trader, Chinedu said, but I bet she never traded away her memories. That's not trading now, that's debt. You are asking me to rob myself. Silence fell over the midnight markets. Then Mama Nkem laughs, sound like wind through palm trees. Adeze will be proud. You have a wisdom after all. She waved her hand and the orbs vanished. You passed the test, grandson. The ancestors don't want you to lose yourself. We wanted to see if you knew your own worth. The ghostly traders applauded. Your struggle has value, Mama Nkem said. Your memories have power precisely because they cost you something. Keep grinding, steady hand. Your breakthrough comes not from magic, but from the man these experiences have made you. As the clock struck 1, the market transformed back. Chinedu found himself on his cement bag, dawn light creeping through the iron roof. The strike ended that morning. Chinedu caught a downfall home. His 800 naira still in his pocket. But something had shifted. He carried the same bags, but now he understood. His memories weren't burdens to trade away. They were treasures to carry forward. 3 months later, Chinedu opened his provision store. No ancestral magic. Just 7 years of steady hands and a man who knew his worth couldn't be traded.